Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of NasCard Radio. This is episode number 50. I'm your pal Val, and with me is the man, the myth, the legend, King NASCAR. Logan, how are you today?
Doing fine. Had a great race weekend this weekend.
That's right, you were at Nashville.
Yep, it was a great race. It was temperature was hot there, but the racing was good. Kyle Larson ran away with it. I think he led. I think he led like 80-90% of the laps. He just killed the field. I mean, every time he got out front, he was just gone. We had a great time there. The track was in great shape. I was really surprised because it's been closed for like 11 years. I don't know if it's been closed, but they haven't hosted a NASCAR race in 11 years. But it looked good. Crowd was great. I mean, it was a sold out, packed house. I mean, I don't think there was hardly a seat available. It was good. It was really good. My son and I went, Tyler, and we had a great time. Luckily for us, though, it was really hot and the sun. It was complete. It was a sunny day, but the press box cast a shadow on where we were sitting because we were up high, and luckily we didn't bake. But I felt sorry for all those people in the sun there. They got baked. But it was great. It was a good race. Had fun.
It's awesome. Well, we will get to the Cup race. First, a little housekeeping here. This is NasCard Radio. This is where NASCAR and NasCard Trading Cards meet. We got a good show for you today. We're going to talk about the Nashville Truck, Xfinity, and Cup race, the winners and their cards. And then we're going to talk about the 1982 Tough Wheels laser print cards that come with the little Matchbox cars. There's trading cards in there, so that's something that you won't hear probably anywhere else in the world, but I know Logan collects that set as well as me, so we will talk about that. And so let's get started with the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race number 12 at Nashville Speedway. That was the inaugural Rackley Roofing 200, and that was Friday, June 18th. Our winner was Ryan Preece. Our highest finishing rookie was Chandler Smith. And what's interesting was Ryan Preece, he runs for JT Daugherty in the Cup level, and this was his first truck race, Ryan Preece. So congrats to him. He was running the Hunt Brothers Pizza Ford. Ryan Preece, we don't really talk about him too much in the Cup Series. He's in one of those lower kind of level, more mid-level funded teams, I guess you would say, but he's got cards in 2018. He's in Dunrust, but he's in the Signature Series. But he has base cards in Panini Certified, that 2018 Panini Certified. There's like 15 different parallels, Logan, for those. When you're looking for those 2018 Certified Chase Briscoes, keep an eye out for some of those Ryan Preece cards. So he's got all the, like I said, those parallels and then mirror parallels as well. Fresh face signatures. Also in 2018 Panini Prism with driver signatures, there's about 15, about parallels with no base cards, but just signature and parallels. And then Victory Lane in signatures as well is about 3 versions there. So really 2018 Certified is his only base. Everything else is signatures. And that's, again, one of those, Logan, where Panini likes to get all those signatures, and they're in those other series.
Yeah, they seem to do that a lot with some of these newer guys. They start out with signature cards, and then later on they come out with their real base rookie cards.
They get those rookies signing all those autographs while they have those young hands to sign.
Yeah, I think they do that because it doesn't cost them a whole lot, and they can get mass quantities, which means they can they can put them in a lot of boxes. So,
but looking at the parallel, the number of autographs are really not that bad. Like in the certified, the highest is 99 all the way down to 1. Prism driver signatures, there's a few, there's a camo and a regular that are not numbered, but everything else is numbered 25 or less. And then Victory Lane signatures 150, a gold version 99, and the black one of 1. So it's not like he's signing 500 or whatever, but. And then, good.
I was just going to talk about, and the highest finishing rookie again was Chandler Smith. It seems like he does that quite often.
Yeah, he's doing very well. It's second week in a row. He's the highest finishing rookie. So, and like last week we talked about, he's in Dunruss, only autographs, signature series.
Yeah,
The
this year is the 2021.
yes,
Yeah, and he runs for Kyle Busch. So, Kyle Busch Motorsports they have good equipment. I mean, as we well know.
oh, definitely. They're I think probably one of the best teams in the truck series. So, but that was race number 12. The next race will be at Pocono Raceway, Saturday, June 26th. That's the CRC Brackleen 150. That's at 12 p.m. Stages are 15, 15, and 30 for 60 laps. No practice or qualifying. And there's
Yeah.
only a few late races left until the playoffs start for the truck race series. But they don't run every week like the Cup, so I imagine we'll have a few weeks off. There'll be some big gaps here coming up.
Yeah, and I know the Cup Series. Not to try to skip ahead, but NBC is doing the Olympics, so I think there's actually a couple weeks where the Cup guys are off because of the Olympics.
Okay, Olympics are coming.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I love the Olympics, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Yes.
I still think they should have brought stock car racing to the Olympics in Atlanta in 1996. That would have been great at the Atlanta track. I could see us going against some Russian dudes and whooping their asses.
That would have been interesting. I'm moving over to the Xfinity Series. That was race number 15, the inaugural Tennessee Lottery 250. That was Saturday, June 19th, Nashville Speedway. That was one of those where Kyle Busch entered and Kyle Busch won.
Yes, Kyle Busch, he did great. I'm a Kyle Busch fan. I mean, you can love me or hate me for it, but he's a heck of a driver. I like Kyle because he says how he feels. He doesn't hold back. Some people think that he's whining, but I totally respect that. I would rather somebody tell me the truth than just sugarcoat something and lie to me. So yeah, I'm a Kyle Busch fan.
That was his 100th Xfinity win.
Mm-hmm. And think about that 100th win in the three major NASCAR series. There's only been two other drivers to win 100 races or more in any of the three series. That's Pearson and Petty.
Right, 105 and 200.
So that's a pretty big deal, and he's doubled what Mark Martin has. I think Mark Martin has 49, something like that, wins in the Xfinity Series. So, and that's kind of like Petty against Pearson. Petty's got 200 and Pearson's got 105. So, yeah, that's impressive when you think about it.
As we've talked about him before, I don't think people realize, and I guess maybe it's because it's fresh, it's current, but when he's done, he steps away, the magnitude of what's happening will be a lot more clear. It's like Jimmy Johnson winning 5 straight championships, and all that. So, but what Kyle Busch is doing in the truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series, yes, he's running maybe in some of these lower levels, but he's still running that whole weekend. I don't think that gets enough play as well. So it's not like these guys have one job. He's got 3 jobs or 2 jobs. So
I mean, I think he's the only driver who's ever swept a weekend too. With all 3 series, and he's done that at Bristol, I think, twice.
Yeah, so there's something to say about that. And then our highest finishing rookie was Josh Berry at the 4th position.
Again,
Josh Berry's getting it done.
He is getting it done. I like Josh Berry a lot. He's a junior protege.
Yeah, I don't think he's signed up for the whole series, and he's definitely showing his talent in the limited number of runs that he's running. So
yeah, somebody needs to give him a full-time ride, because I think he could give those other guys, Allgaier and Austin Cindric and those guys. I think he could give them a run for their money. I really do, because he's got a lot of talent.
We talk about Kyle Busch Motorsports in the Truck Series, Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series. They put some good cars together too. So that is a good program to be running for if you can get a long-term ride there. So
absolutely.
But we've talked about Kyle Busch and his rookie cards before. 2004, he's in a few different offerings with the base press pass 2004, as well as the 2004 Optima press pass stealth, press pass trackside, and 2004 wheels high gear.
Yeah, that would make a good rookie set on the PSA set registry. I don't think I have all of those graded, although I do have some off into the PSA Neverland right now. So if I ever get them back, I'm going to request that set.
And one of the ones that I like is the press pass base. There's a variation on that card, that's done on purpose naturally, but with the infield and the tracker in the background, and then also version without it. So that's pretty cool that they did that on one of his rookie cards. So in one of those offerings.
Yeah, it's I guess they kind of knew, because I remember his brother Kurt one time, when Kurt was winning everything and won the championship, he goes, "You think this is something? What do you see my brother Kyle?" And boy, he was right.
Definitely. Yeah, and again, Kyle Busch, his cards are relatively cheap. I think we talked about it last week, compared to like Kyle Larson, whose stuff is on fire, Josh Berry with very limited the number of cards. And maybe that's part of it too, is that Kyle Busch is in these multiple offerings, and so it's kind of scattered as opposed to more focused. So there's more Kyle Busch rookie cards to choose from. And I'll just say it, and we talked about it last week and we talked about it before, the wheels high gear, off center. If you find a good centered copy,
Buy it.
Buy it, pick it up. They are notoriously off center, left to right, or right to left.
Yeah, he, like I said, he's in five different offerings from Press Pass that year. So I mean, there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, and I think like with the Optima, there's a serial numbered version to 100. The Stealth, there's the X-Ray, also serial numbered to 100. You have the base with non-numbered, but then also parallels that are numbered. So you can pick, I think it might cost you about $40, $50 maybe for some of those numbered parallels. But when you compare that to the baseball offerings, and like Wanda, everybody's going crazy over Wanda Franco and that, I'm sure it's 3 or 4 digits for those guys. So, but I don't think you can never go wrong with cheap Kyle Busch rookie. So
No, you can't.
And then Josh Berry, we've talked about him. I guess it was a couple weeks ago. He has cards in 2013 press pass total memorabilia. That is it. There's a few versions of it. There's the base. There's a red retail version, a gold number to 275, a black and white number to 99. And then there's autographs with silver autograph to numbered 125, gold numbered to 99, blue numbered to 25, and melding numbered to 5. So 4 parallels for the base, 4 parallels for the autographs. That's it. So you're talking about 8 years ago that these have come out. So not a lot of wax around either. I think somebody has got one wax box out there for about $400. So it's tough stuff to find. But I'm not sure what the prices are going for right now, but they might be good if you can find them cheap to kind of hold and see if he gets good right or not. We might be talking about him for a few years. So
yeah, maybe he'll show up in Chronicles.
That would be nice.
That would be very nice. I still haven't seen a checklist for 2021 Chronicles yet.
I've been checking every day. Nothing yet. The dates got pushed back from this week to 2 weeks from now. So I'm expecting the checklist maybe end of next week. We'll see. Our next race, number 16, is at Pocono Raceway. The Pocono Green 225 recycled by JP Mascaro and Sons. That's Sunday, June 27th at 12 p.m. Stages are 20, 40, 90 for 225 miles. So we're getting a double header on Sunday, I believe.
Yeah, it's a doubleheader weekend. Is it Saturday, Sunday, or is it? I think it's Saturday, Sunday.
So the truck race is on Saturday. Xfinity is on Sunday.
Oh, I'm thinking Cup on
Sunday.
Bad. My bad.
But doubleheader on Sunday. And then speaking of Cup, that was race number 17 at the inaugural Ally 400, which was Sunday, June 20th at Nashville Superspeedway.
Yep, that was a fun race. That was the first Cup race that my son and I have been to in a few years. We have a scanner. We listen to MRN. We listen to the teams. You get a lot of insight from all that. Like I said before, it was hot. It was in the 90s. Sun was out. I noticed we went to some of the souvenir stands, and I think Val may have touched on this before, but like Chase Elliott has his own souvenir hauler, and then all the rest of the Hendrick guys are in one hauler by themselves.
Was it the same way? Was the Chase Elliott packed?
Yes, the Chase Elliott was packed. That was no surprise whatsoever. I saw that Dale Jr. had a trailer. Let's see, all of the Penske guys had their, they were in their trailer, including Matt DiBenedetto. He was with them. It was, I thought it was amazing that Chase has his own hauler. And like I said, it was jam packed. And in fact, Tyler bought a retro Chase Bill Elliott t-shirt that I thought was really cool, because we've always loved Bill Elliott. And, that's part of the reason that I think a lot of people love Chase, kind of like the Dale Earnhardt, Dale Jr. thing. But, Tyler bought him a shirt. I bought some decals and some other stuff for my truck, from several different people. I was really surprised. I didn't see, Kyle Busch's was kind of busy, but not, super busy. And all the rest of them were I would say they had normal crowds, but by far Chase Elliott had a lot of folks buying up his souvenirs and his gear.
Super popular because it doesn't hurt, reigning champion. And speaking of Chase Elliott, I was very surprised to see him disqualified from this one after the race.
Yeah, he had. We were listening to. We were on our way home, and we were actually in the drive-through line at White Castle, getting some White Castle hamburgers, and it came on the radio. Claire B. Lang said that breaking news: Chase Elliott has been disqualified from the race for having 5 missing lug nuts. It's like, holy crap! I mean, so he's relegated to last place, 1 point, and I think he ended up finishing like 13th or something like that. I mean, I think he was originally like in 13th place.
Well, this is the last year for loose lug nuts.
Yeah. Next year, if you have a loose lug nut, you're going to have a big problem.
You'd be like Quinn Huff.
Yeah.
Who lost his wheel.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, that was like the first lap. It's like, what? Somebody didn't do their job is what that all boils down to.
Well, I thought maybe when he hit the wall that had come loose, whatever. But yeah, I was really surprised with 5 loose lug nuts. 1, 2, maybe. I don't know. You get 5, but at least he's got his win. So he secured his spot for the playoffs. So, but yeah. Kyle Larson won that in commanding fashion. 3 wins in a row, or 2 wins in a row, an all-star win, and then this other picked up where he left off. So our highest finishing rookie was Anthony Alfredo in 17th spot. But it was interesting, I'm looking at the top 10. Ross Chastain, 2nd. William Byron, Eric Almirola, 4th. Kevin Harvick at 5th. Ricky Stenhouse, 6th. Daniel Suarez, 7th. Kurt Busch, Christopher Bell at number 9. Joe Logano. So some of the guys you don't see in the top 10 in the top 10.
Yeah, Almirola, he started on the pole, and as we were driving up there, Tyler and I were talking about it, and I said, I guarantee you, Tyler, that Almirola will, with Kyle Busch on the front row, he will not lead the first lap. Oh yeah, he'll lead a lap or 2, and then he'll fade back. And sure enough, he didn't lead the first lap. I knew he wasn't going to do it. I knew Kyle Busch was going to say, "Screw this, I'm gone. I'm going to try to get out of here." But he got thwarted by Kyle Larson.
Yeah, to say the least. But Kyle Larson rookies, we've talked about them before the last couple of weeks. I won't go into great detail with those, but basically you need to know 2013 fanfare and 2013 total memorabilia. So when you're looking for Kyle Larson rookies, keep an eye out for those Josh Berry rookies as well. So, but they can still be found. I told Logan before we came on that Sunday during the race while I'm watching it. I went out to the Beckett Marketplace and was able to find a few out there for a pretty good price. I think there were 2 of them for $4, and I think that was total memorabilia, and then fanfare for $9 maybe. But long term hold. And also Logan knows this too, but we've talked about it before when we went to Press Pass and visited the folks at Press Pass, and they gave us a box of that 2013 total memorabilia. And, we've known about Kyle Larson for a while, all that time. And I would see him at, the Little 600 or some of these other events at the Hall of Fame even, and, get him to sign rookie cards. So it's always good to have some rookie cards because you never know when you run into Kyle Larson or whatever. So
yeah, since he's everywhere. I mean, he runs a lot of dirt, throughout the week before the cut, dirt, in between the cup races. And they were actually talking to him because, of course, Tyler and I had a lot of time to listen to the radio because we were stuck in traffic getting out. And then, of course, we had to drive home. So they were talking to him, and the question came up was Rick Hendrick going to make him start, cutting back on, dirt races? And he said, no. He goes, actually, I think it helps me stay sharp. I'm always out there running something. And he goes, I think it helps. So he goes, and it's all working for us right now. So there's no reason to change what's working.
Yeah, I've heard that before where he runs on Sunday, and then earlier in the next week, he's out running at the dirt track. I need to go up there. I think they're up in not Hickory or somewhere up there. There's a couple of tracks that he runs at. So, but yeah, it's keep on doing what he's doing and keeping him fresh because he is tearing it up. You just don't want to peak too early, but I guess they still want to keep that momentum going. He looks unbeatable.
Yeah, people are already trying to hand him the trophy, but you got to look at last year. You had Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick just tearing it up last year, and Harvick didn't even make the playoffs. And you see that Chase won, so you can't go by what you're seeing right now. But I think for sure he'll be in the Final Four because he's racking up a lot of playoff points right now.
And I guess that's what I meant by peaking too early, because you're right. If he can get enough stage points, he can probably try to, get to the end that way. But with the different tiers in the playoffs and having to win, he stands a good chance of making it to the Final Four. So,
well, that's kind of what propelled Truex to the Final Four a couple years ago. When he won the championship, is he had they banked so many playoff points that and those things carry over on every round. So he was already miles ahead, literally or figuratively, however you want to look at it.
Right.
But he was already way ahead before they even started the first race in whatever round they were in. So that pretty much got him to the Final Four with no issues.
And so I don't know, maybe it's the way my brain works, but that was 2017. And the reason I know it because he was in the 2017 Panini Instant. I sure wish they had that Panini Instant again.
Yeah. Tracy Hackler, if you're out there listening, we want Panini Instant. Get those guys doing something.
I'm telling you. Anthony Alfredo, switching gears, 2019. He's in the Dunruss next in line. That's that insert set. And there's a few different parallels of that. There's cracked ice to 25. There's a holographic version, no number, and explosion to 10. 2019 Panini Prism, driver signatures, no base, just about 15 different parallels of driver signatures. And then in 2019 Panini Victory Lane, pedal to the metal. That's kind of a set inside a set.
Yeah, it is. In fact, that was a set within Chronicles last year.
Yes. And so that was card number 3. So I don't know if you consider that a base card or not. I mean, there's a Victory Lane set, and then there's pedal to the metal set as well. I think it's like 100 cards. So, but that's card number 3, and there are a few other parallels. All of them are very limited. The gold to 25, green to 5, red to 3, and black 1 of 1.
Wow.
So that is Anthony Alfredo. And again, it's either Anthony Alfredo or Chase Briscoe, as those are the only two drivers going for Rookie of the Year in a Cup season this year.
So, kind of circling back to Kyle Larson and my observations from Nashville. One of the things that I noticed in Nashville is there were a lot of Kyle Larson T-shirts, a lot. And not only that, when he won, there were no boos. They were all cheers and people were happy. So what that tells me is that all is forgiven and he's good to go. So if you're a sponsor out there and you want to sponsor a hell of a driver, I would definitely be sponsoring this guy. I don't know why he doesn't have more sponsors lined up. I know that they, again, on the radio going home, they were talking to Rick Hendrick, and Rick Hendrick said that he's just not going to take just any old run-of-the-mill sponsor, so to speak. He's looking for sponsors that are the right fit for Kyle Larson. So that's part of the reason that there's not a lot of sponsors for him. But the public perception of him is good. And like I said, in Nashville, there were no boos. It was all cheers. People love him. Tons of shirts. So, I'd say green light. He needs more sponsors. And if you're a sponsor, you need to step up and sponsor this guy.
I think that's, the American dream, but the Americans root for, the underdog, somebody who has fallen is climbing back up and, they've gone through adversity and was able to, pick themselves up and just do very well. And that he is. So.
Yep. And I know we keep saying this, but he has a lot to prove, and he is, like I said, he's telling Ganassi, hey, look at me. You should have probably kept me. But I don't know that he'd have been doing as good in Ganassi equipment, although Ganassi cars did fairly well in Nashville, with Ross Chastain and then in Kurt Busch. Both of those guys did good. I mean, for compared to what they've been doing. And we were listening to the radio, the MRM broadcast during the race, when we were watching the race. And of course you have Rusty Wallace with his wonderful color commentary that he is, in my opinion, he could do so much better. But anyway, he made the comment that something about Ganassi's been doing good all year and they're showing it today. And it's like, huh? What are you talking about? What races have you been watching?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, even I know that Hendrick apologized to Ganassi and them because they had a race or two where they did horrible and had gotten, I guess, some bad equipment or whatever it was, but they're definitely making it up. So next race number 18 at Pocono Raceway, Pocono Organics CBD, 3 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a doubleheader. They're going to have a Saturday and a Sunday race this weekend.
Yeah, so there's 2 on Saturday and Xfinity on Sunday.
Yeah, so it's I think that's what they did last year because of COVID, and I think they're also doing it this year probably because of the Olympics. So this way, that they can get a race in where to make up for not having one during the Olympics.
And maybe that's why I thought I don't know. I guess I thought the double header was on Sunday, not Saturday. So double header on Saturday. And that is stages 25, 77, 130 laps for 325 miles. No practicing or qualifying. And our playoff standings after Nashville, 17 of 26 races. Kyle Larson, first position with 4 wins. Martin Truex with 3. Alex Bowman with 2. William Byron, Chase Elliott, Logano, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blainey, Brad Keselowski, Christopher Bell, Michael McDowell. Denny Hamlin is the first at position 12 as the points leader. Kevin Harvick, Austin Dillon, Tyler Reddick, Chris Buescher, and then outside looking in at 17, Kurt Busch, Ricky Stenhouse, Matt DiBenedetto drops down, Ross Chastain at the 20th spot.
Yeah, I was really hoping for Matty D to do a lot better in Nashville than he did. In fact, I was again on. You have a lot of time to talk about stuff when you've got a 3-hour drive. But Tyler and I were talking about it, and we were hoping that God, this would be so cool if he could get his first win here. But little did any of us know, but we should have expected that Kyle Larson was going to run away with it.
Yeah, it was interesting. Joe Logano was the highest finishing Penske / Wood Brothers Ford at the 10th spot, but my dad, he likes Ryan Blainey, so I think he had put some money on Ryan Blainey. He ran into the wall, and first he started with that. He came in the, I guess, pit road weird and flared out the wheel well behind the right rear. He had to come in and kind of tuck that back in. So it started poorly for him and went downhill for.
Yeah, I hated that.
Blainey,
I like that kid. He's a good driver, and he's kind of showed up as old man in Cup because his dad never did win a Cup race. Although,
now when it comes to Dave Blainey, I can tell you a little bit about that because he ran Amoco and BP Amoco, which I told you my father-in-law worked for Amoco. So we went to some of the Dave Blainey events, and he was with Bill Davis Racing at the time, and Ward Burton was more of the number one guy than Dave Blainey. And I remember one time in Atlanta, he was doing really well, but he came in for a pit, and the pit crew messed him up, and he fell back. So I don't think he ever was in really good equipment. I know Ward did very well, but I don't know if they were, you want to say there's no pecking order, but there is definitely a pecking order at the shop. So, but yeah, Dave Blainey was World Outlaws champ, I believe, and also in that 87 World of Outlaws set with Jeff Gordon. So,
yep, that's his rookie, I believe, too.
Yep, and because of Dave Blainey, I got some of those 87 World of Outlaws. So,
yeah, not a bad thing to have, dude.
Nope, not bad at all. So I think that's it for Truck, Xfinity, and Cup and next week's races. And want to switch gears over to the 1982 Tough Wheels from KiDCO, if you're a typical Matchbox car. But during this issue, there's a little starburst on the package and says free 2 laser print cards, trading cards. This is something, I don't know where I saw it. Maybe it was at a show or something. Maybe it was online. I was searching for Earnhardt, and I came across it. It was one of those things where I was like, that's kind of interesting. And, doing research the way I do, diving in. So the cards are smaller. They're a little bit smaller than 3 inches and about 1 3/4 inches. They're yellow bordered. Like I said, you get 2 cards per package. There's 24 cards in the set. Probably the biggest key to it is that there is a Dale Earnhardt Wrangler car. Was it is it Illumina? I'm trying to think of the make.
No, it's a Ford. It's not Illumina. Now that was when he was still. I think he was still with Bud Moore at that point.
Because it's yellow, and I don't know. It looks like the Wrangler car, but
it is Wrangler. Bud Moore had the Wrangler sponsorship, but I think it was at that time he was running for Bud Moore, and it was the number 15 car.
Okay.
Yeah, but talking about those cards, I remember when I first submitted some of those to PSA, they sent them back because they didn't have a spec on them. So I had to go through a little bit of, I don't know what you want to call it. I had to go through, it took a little bit of effort. I got a hold of the right people at PSA and, sent them a whole bunch of documentation about it. And they created specs for it so we could get them graded. So now you can get those cards graded with PSA.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. That was I went through a lot of stuff to try to get those things going because, like I said, when I first sent some in, I got them back and it said no spec, which means we don't know anything about them. We're not gonna research them. We're just not gonna grade them. Here you go.
I had to go through the same thing for the 2019 Donruss Fox announcer set. But on the Tough Wheels, on the back of the package, it says new Tough Wheels laser print package. This new Tough Wheels laser print package was created by using nationally recognized photographer Bill Stahl's special laser photographics effects. Bill Stahl may be the most published racing photographer working today. His works appear on a regular basis in Sports Illustrated, Motor Trend, Road and Track, Car and Driver, and numerous other trade publications. Bill shot the cars, trucks, and motorcycles for the Tough Wheels package at Road America Racetrack in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Bill worked with laser beams and a special computer electronic transfer process to add his laser color special effects to the racetrack photos. Many people refer to Bill's art form as, air quotes, painting with cameras. And then new Tough Wheels laser print trading cards. Tough Wheels presents 24 different laser print trading cards. All have a wild laser color photography and contain racing facts and information on the back. All 24 represent special photos taken by Bill Stahl. And then there's little tiny print of a picture of each of the 24, and it says collect all 24. Like I said, card number 4 is the Earnhardt, and number 7 is Richard Petty. Those are the two.
Yeah, and you were talking about the card measurements. Those cards measure 1 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches.
Okay, thank you. So you won't hear that anybody else talk about that probably in the world except for us. But it's a cool little set, and me and Logan have been collecting it for a few years. If you can find them, they're not very expensive. Naturally, like I said, there's 2 cards you don't know. You can kind of see the card on top, but I don't think there's any kind of order because the 2 times that I've gotten the Earnhardt, I believe there's a different card on top. And, they've been starting to take off. There was a PSA 10 Dale Earnhardt. I believe it sold for $1,000.
Yeah, and I missed that. I don't usually impulse buy, but if I had seen that, I may have bought that for that price because that's again, you can have the debate about Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s rookie cards. I mean, this could even be the real rookie card. I mean, it's got his car, he's in the lead. And I did all my homework on that. That truly is his. That truly is him. It's not Ricky Rudd or somebody else in that car. That is Dale Earnhardt in that car. So you could debate it if you want. It could be his rookie card, and there's a lot of demand for that card, and there's a lot of Dale Earnhardt Sr. collectors out there. We heard of a private sale of one of those, another PSA. I think it was a PSA 7 that went for like $500. So.
That's pretty good money, and it predates the 83 Uno.
Yep.
And we were talking about this, or this is one of the points that I brought up, is that I would imagine these are going to be very scarce because back in 82, when the kids opened these up, they were getting them, they were buying these for the metal cars to play with. They were not buying these for the trading cards. So whatever is left now, for collectors to try to find. So, you can't get them out of wax boxes or whatever else. You have to look and find them and hope that they're still in good shape. Again, they are on the blister, and the 2 cards are on the closest to the cardboard. And then there is either a plastic package that's got edges to it. So it's raised up and that the cards are not squished or whatever. And then there's another version where there's just a piece of thin plastic and then the car, and then it's sealed with glue or whatever to the backer board. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but the card does not rub up against the trading cards. So there's kind of some protection in there. But, after all these years, there might be some movement or whatever. But, just trying to find them is pretty tough. So.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. That's almost 40 years ago. And to me, that doesn't seem like it's been that long.
Wow, 39 years, yeah.
But for those things to still be around and to still be able to find those cars with those cards, in the blister pack with the car, is quite amazing. And like Val said, there's no rhyme or reason or no pattern or anything like that on if you see a particular card on top, what card's going to be underneath, because I've opened up a bunch of them myself, and I've never seen any pattern whatsoever.
The one thing I can say is that I bought a case of these, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 3 or 4. And I think the case is run by type of vehicle. So the case that I had were like trucks and Jeeps. And then the other ones that I've seen are cars, maybe Corvettes and hot rods. So I think maybe that is the way they kind of run. I wish I could find more cases of those things, or would have bought a lot more. But I'm glad that PSA grades them. They're a fun little set. They don't really break the bank. And, again, I think the chase is half the fun.
Oh, I agree. And one of the things that you have to look at with this set as well is it's not just, sure, you've got Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt in here as far as NASCAR is concerned, but you've got, Grand Prix cars, you've got Trans Am cars, you've got motorcycles, you've even got semi tractor trailer racing, which is card number 1. So it encompasses all different types of motorsports.
Yeah, you're correct. I don't know who the Formula One or whatever that open wheel car is, but yeah, it's a unique little set, and it's not one of the norms, but it's a pretty cool set.
Yeah, I mean, it's got IndyCar as well. I mean, there's card number 5 that's racing the Indy Brickyard, and I haven't done any more homework other than the NASCAR cards. I guess I probably should do that to kind of see who some of these people are on these cards.
Yeah, maybe find a Mario or somebody else, a Neil Hamilton.
Yeah, I don't like I said, I don't know who all's on here. I mean, there's another card that just shows Pontiac Firebirds on it. So, like I said, it encompasses all forms of motorsports. I'm like Val. This is a cool little set. It's 24 cards. It takes a little bit of work to collect it, but it's like Val said, it's not going to break the bank, and it's fun. Yeah, there's a Formula One car. You can see some Trans Am cars, some IMSA cars. There's and they're neat, and they're neat looking cards. The way that Bill Stahl did these with his camera and his laser technology, that, as he called it back then, to me, these cars are a little bit ahead of their time.
Yeah, I was kind of laughing when I was reading that off the back, but yeah, you're right. With a computer and some other stuff. Now, when you think about it, how much power you have in your phone, let alone, back then. I guess that's pre-Windows. It's early Apple stuff. I'm trying to remember when I was in high school, some of the stuff we had. But the back, I don't think the backs get enough credit either, because this is a first series collector's item. This is the back of the Earnhardt at the track with Bill Stahl, NASCAR, and it's got the N.A.S.C. They do each letter with a period. Drivers try to join this draft. Drafting, in quotes, is a term used when a car races, and it looks like an N instead of like in the slipstream, in quotes, of a car in front of it. This not only increases the speed of the second car, but the first one as well. This shot was taken at the 1982 Daytona 500, one of the most important of all racing events. Buddy Baker knows what it's like to end up a winner at the Daytona 500 after losing 17 years in a row. Baker went on to win the Daytona 500 in 1980 with an average speed of 177.602 miles per hour. It was the fastest average speed ever achieved in any 500-mile race. And then there's a Tough Wheels trivia quiz. Which assembly line car had the largest production engine in the world, and in what year?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, and a lot of people don't read backs. I mean, I used to read a lot more backs than I do now, but
okay, I had to flip the card around. Ready for the answer?
Go for it.
The 1970 Cadillac Eldorado with a 500 cubic inch engine.
Huh. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, I always like, cards that have, some information on the back, and, the one that pops out, the Topps cards with the little cartoons and stuff. But granted, these don't have cartoons, but they, have a little trivia. And, they say KiDCO 1982. So, the date on those. It's like I said, a fun little set. And I don't think a lot of people know about it. But here at NasCard Radio, we try to uncover and educate as much as we can with some of these older issues. So this one will go into archives.
So to kind of expand on what you were talking about with the 1982 Daytona 500, Dale Earnhardt drove the number 15 Ford Thunderbird, the Wrangler Ford Thunderbird T-Bird, and it was car number 15. And he ended up finishing 36th. He had an engine problem.
Pretty cool.
So there you go.
Yeah, in that photo there, he's leading, the line of cars, and Richard Petty looks like is behind him, and then, somebody else, and you can kind of not make out the other cars. So, but yeah, you can see that big number 15 there on the front headlight there. So, and again, that's card number 4, and it's drafting to win. So no real mention of Dale Earnhardt, but you can definitely tell that's a Wrangler car.
Yep.
And again, it's on the diehard Dale Earnhardt collectors. This is one that's on their list.
Yeah, it's kind of, in a way, it's almost a holy grail kind of card, because it's like Val said. I mean, kids just chunk those cards, and all they wanted was the car. They didn't care about the dang cards. So they're scarce. I mean, I search for these things. I shouldn't even say this, but I search for these things every day, and they don't pop up very often. And you've got basically a 1 in 24 chance of hitting one of those cards, which really that's not bad odds, all things considered. But yeah, they're tough, and I guess the tough wheels are tough.
Yeah, I don't know how long that KiDCO lasted, and it's interesting that it says it's the first collector series. I don't think it was followed up.
Yeah, it looks like they had at least the thought in their mind of having a second series, but I guess it just never materialized.
So in this last lot that I got, actually was looking at the different backs, the UPC code. It looks like there's 3 different numbers, the last 2 numbers ending in. So, and I noticed when I opened one, the protective cover covering the cards had a lip to it so that it wasn't pressing straight down. And that's the way it was when I opened that case of the trucks and the Jeeps. And then other version was just a thin piece of plastic. So,
yeah. For those of you who can't see it, it's either a thin piece of plastic that covers the cards, but it's the protection from the diecast car, or it's almost like I don't know what you want to call
recessed
that.
area.
A little recessed piece of plastic that also protects the cards.
Yeah. So
at least they were thinking ahead on that. They were trying to keep the cards in good shape and not get them all scuffed up.
So I don't know if there's anything else to add with the 82.
No, it's just
wheels.
It's just a fun set. I mean, if you're looking for something, if you're looking for a challenge and you're looking for something that's going to be, or at least I think is a good set that has value, because like what we were talking about earlier, a PSA 10 number 4 drafting to win with Earnhardt, $1,000. I mean, who'd have thought that out of a little 164 scale diecast car pack? I mean,
I'll show you what the price was on them. They were discounted.
Yeah, Val has some packaging. It's 3 for $2.
Yeah, of course that's 1982. Well, I don't know when it was. It was probably after 1982.
There's probably some kind of clearance or something after that. Is that like KB Toys or something?
That's what I'm checking. It was KB Toys. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point they were already discounted.
$1.29 down to 3 for $2.
Because God only knows how many KB toy stores I went to back during that time looking for NASCAR stuff.
Let's see. Moving over to NASCAR news. Some eBay sales. A 1989 Maxx Dale Earnhardt Senior number 3 PSA 10 sold for right at $1,000.
Yeah, and of course the KiDCO Earnhardt also sold for right at $1,000.
Yep. There's a sale of an 83 Uno Earnhardt PSA 9, but it was a best offer. It looks like eBay has fixed the little loophole that allows you to see what those prices have sold for. So we'll have
Yeah,
to guess, but probably I contacted the seller and he did not want to divulge, but he said the average is around 800 to 1200 for the 83 Uno PSA 9 Dale Earnhardt. So, which is probably, I think, more the high end, the 1200 is probably, or 1000, I think is probably a good price for that. Those are
yeah,
crazy rare. And again, it's one of those that's on everybody's wish list. So,
yeah, and of course, there's some Haley Deegans out there that are still going for pretty good money as well.
now that made me think of two different things. So in NASCAR news, Jeff Gordon looks like he's going to retire out of the booth. Before you make a comment about that, Haley Deegan finished second in I believe it's the SRX Racing Series. So and that was on dirt. I think that was Knoxville, maybe.
It was Knoxville. That's the SRX series. That's the Tony Stewart's and Ray Abraham's version of IROC. It's a Superstar Racing Experience, I believe, is what SRX stands for. And I always did like the IROC series, so I like this SRX series. I'm glad that they, in a way, kind of resurrected this because you can get you have equally prepared cars, and of course, Ray Abraham did. He was one of the chief mechanics in the IROC series. That's kind of how he got his start, to be a crew chief. And so he has a lot of experience making these cars equal. So you get all these drivers from all these different disciplines racing against each other in equally prepared cars. And basically it's just to see who's the best. And like I said, I've always liked IROC. I've even got, you can't see it on camera, Val can't see it, but I have an Al Unser Sr. IROC racing suit. That was
nice.
the first racing suit I ever got. I traded a computer for that thing a long, long time ago. I mean, we're talking 20-something years ago. I traded a computer to a guy for that suit.
And how much is that computer worth now?
Nothing. And look what I was glad to do it. He goes, man, I need a computer. And he goes, I got this racing suit. I'll trade you. I said, sold. So I basically bought the computer back then for whatever. I can't remember how much it was. I'm thinking my cost, because I used to work at a computer shop back in the 80s, and I think I probably spent like $700 or something like that on components, and built the computer and the monitor and everything, and traded it for that racing suit, and it's still here. In fact, Val, you saw it because I took it. Remember, I brought it to Indy when we went to Indianapolis a few years ago to see if anybody had any interest in it, but nobody really was biting on it since it was Al Unser Sr.
It's probably changed now.
Yeah, like I said, it's over here to my right. That's the first racing suit that I ever bought. I still have it.
Very nice.
But yeah, getting back to IROC and SRX, that's what I like about it. That because you get to see who are the real drivers, because Jeff Gordon, he never won I take that back. He won one IROC race, and I was actually at that race. It was at Daytona, and the only reason he won is because it was rain shortened. He just happened to be in the lead when they called it for rain. But that's the only race he ever won. But then you look at Martin. I think he's the all-time leader in the IROC series, and I think he also has the most championships. So to me that always told me a lot about the drivers, and who truly, when you have equally prepared cars and you're not, for lack of a better word, you're not cheating, and like I said, you've got equally prepared cars. You get to see who is the real driver, and that's what I always loved about that series, and that's what I'm really liking about the SRX series. So I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see Haley Deegan finishing second. That tells me a lot right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's definitely got some talent, and I think it's just making that transition from dirt to asphalt. So
yep.
And then with Jeff Gordon kind of becoming the number 2 over at Hendrick and stepping away from the broadcast booth, which actually I'm surprised it took this long, because I don't think it was any kind of secret that he was going to, when Rick Hendrick steps down, that, he would kind of take over.
Yeah, he's grooming Jeff for that job. I mean, he's going to be the vice chairman, which the only person above Gordon will be Hendrick. So everybody within the organization will answer to him, as well as Rick Hendrick. And they've got their own culture and their own way of doing things, and I'm sure that's the tradition that Jeff Gordon wants to keep, and I'm sure that's what Rick Hendrick is going to instill in him. So you're right. It's no surprise to see that. We knew years ago that, especially after Rick Hendrick's son was tragically killed in that plane crash in Martinsville, that he had already mentioned that he was pretty much gonna will Hendrick Motorsports to Jeff Gordon, because if it wasn't for Jeff Gordon, Hendrick Motorsports would definitely not be where it is today.
Yeah, I don't know. It made me think of, he had that kind of, I'll say, messy divorce with Brooke. Jeff did that. I think Rick had said that Jeff slept on his couch during some of that time. So, it's kind of a, I don't know, father-son, but definitely, close relationship, business and personal.
Yep, for sure. You're talking about, that divorce. I think, I remember reading somewhere, I think one of the things that she got from him was one of his Winston Cup trophies. And I know she got like something like $30 million or some kind of crazy amount of money from Jeff. Because I don't know if you remember, Val, but at the National several years ago, was it Heritage or somebody had I think it was the 1998 Winston Cup Championship trophy, Jeff Gordon's trophy. And I talked to the guys about it, and they told me that, they got it. It was one of the things that Brooke got in the divorce. And when they got it, it was completely disassembled, and they had to put it back together. So I don't know why she would have taken that thing apart, but she did. And they had to put it back together.
I was going to say, I think one of his other trophies is at the Racing Hall of Fame in Dawsonville, the Georgia Hall of Fame.
That's weird. I wonder why it would be there.
Because I want to say it was Jeff's trophy. Because when I went to Dawsonville that one time, going through it, they had a lot of stuff there. I don't think it's Bill's trophy. I thought it was Jeff Gordon, because it was kind of weird. But anyway, a little plug for the Georgia Racing Hall of Fame in Dawsonville.
Yeah, that's got a lot of big name drivers. Bill's in there, Tim Flock, of course Lloyd C. and those early pioneers, Raymond Parks. I mean, all those people. Yeah. So it's a cool place. If you're anywhere near there, it's a good little place to stop in and check out.
It's a little pre-NASCAR and early days of NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
But we passed the hour mark. I don't know if there's anything else we've missed for today.
I think we're good. I know we wanted to maybe try to touch on 89 Maxx, but we can. That's a whole nother big topic for. No, actually, we've talked about that before. But I think we were going to talk about how some of the old pricing for 89 Maxx. But like I said, that's a different topic for a different day.
Yeah, we can talk about it real quick. But basically, it was the escalation of pricing for the 1989 Maxx. How they saw the set went from $30 to basically $300. I think they said it went from 15 to 30, and it took about 15 months, and then all of a sudden it went from 30 to 200 and something in 15 days.
Yeah, does that sound familiar? We didn't even have COVID back then.
I know, that's why that's what kind of stood out from the article for me. They also talked about that the print run was only 30 million cards. The Maxx Facts kind of debunked that and said the print run was never released. But there were numerous articles in letters to the editor about the scarcity about the 1989 Maxx set and the toolbox set. And it's kind of what we had talked about actually, is that they went to the distribution model of selling it from Maxx only, and that the wax was very scarce, and about the stickers and how scarce they kind of are. There's a few numbers that they said were more scarce than others, but I don't know necessarily if that holds true or if it brings any more value nowadays. The sticker set is kind of a afterthought. Maybe for somebody who wants a master set, I don't think it's a collecting challenge. And of course, there's really not to them. They're kind of very bland. If maybe if they were more spruced up here,
True.
maybe they used some of this laser technology that Stahl used. It would have been better, but
make them 3D, make them holographic.
But basically, yeah, about the 89 Maxx, how scarce they were, and also how the escalation in price. And it's very similar to what we're seeing right now, where the set was in the 30s. I think they said cost was 27 from Maxx at the time, and that they had shot up to about $350, $370 for the set. The cards commanding the pricing was the Earnhardt and the Rob Moroso.
And that was during the same time that the 88 Maxx Myrtle Beach went up to like $1,000 for a factory set. So yeah, that was during some crazy times and some exorbitantly high prices back then.
Yeah, so it's just not now.
Yeah,
it existed back then.
Yep, it goes in cycles.
Yeah, so this is the March of 1991, and the 220 card toolbox set is 325. The 220 card white box, which we talked about, was 324. It's $1 less. And the hand collated set was 324. 100 card set, the peak set was 130. Wax packs were $11.
Incredible.
And then I don't understand why, but the Dale Earnhardt is $9. But the Jeff Bodine, each one of the variations is $20 each. The Rob Moroso, $50.
Yeah, we talked about that. Was it a couple weeks ago about Rob Moroso? But that
Wendell
was tragic.
Scott.
Yeah, Wendell Scott's in there. He's got a card. The 89 Maxx is a great set.
$4, but it's basically every card is $3. Every common or $2. So that's why the set price is high, and it says all cards not listed below $2 a piece.
Wow. So yeah, that would about average out. Well, no, I mean, even at $2 a card times 220, that's $440.
Yeah, we usually get a discount though. When you
buy the set.
When you buy the set, right?
Yep.
But then also, we'll probably talk about it next week, is the 1990 Maxx set. At that time, the Maxx set is, the white hobby set 140, the red and white 60, the red and yellow 65, and the metal box $60. So
yeah, and I've got a fun story I'll share on that, on the 1990 Maxx and my family during that time. It was pretty fun. I still vividly remember going through all of that.
We'll talk about the 1990 Maxx, I guess, next week then.
Yep.
And hopefully Jason will be back as well to join us. So
yeah, I haven't been on a show with Jason yet, so I think he might keep me.
Yeah, you're still on probation, so we'll.
Oh, on probation?
No. We'd love to have everybody. So it's a lot of fun. Again, I can talk NASCAR all the time. So, and I know I try not to waste the listeners' time. So, but bring pertinent and factual information about NASCAR trading cards. And like today, where else are you going to find out about the 1982 Tough Wheels KiDCO? So,
yep.
But I guess we'll wrap it up there for the evening.
Yep. Everybody have fun collecting and collect what you love.
Exactly. So for me and Logan and Jason, thanks for listening. Please share the podcast, share NASCAR Trading Cards with your friends, and we will see you next week.